Wednesday, the 30th of March 2022 marks the opening of the tobacco marketing season right here in Zimbabwe. Thank you, Zimbabwe, for tuning into yet another informative edition of your program. This is Agricultural New Directions, Agribusiness, and my name is watsapp. So today we are going to be witnessing the opening of the 2021-2022 tobacco marketing season, and to grace this event, we have the Minister in the Ministry of Lands, Agriculture, Fisheries, Water and Rural Development, Dr. A.J. Masuka. We also have Honorable Evangelist Peter Haritatos, who managed to come through and also introduced our guest speaker, who was Dr. A.J. Masuka. We also have the CEO of the Tobacco Industry Marketing Board, the Regulatory Authority, Mr. Minwo Gudu, and certain board members, the farming community, the stakeholders, which include the merchants, the contractors, and also various farmer representatives who managed to grace this event. On this point in time, we're going to cross over to the podium and listen to the speech being given by the Minister, Dr. A.J. Masuka. Come along.
I'm pleased to officiate this occasion for the second time in a row. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, farmers look forward to getting a decent return for their effort. Contractors look forward to recovering their full loans and making a decent profit. Banks are holding their breath, looking forward to the full repayment of loans advanced in good faith to many value chain contractors. Our merchants, both local and abroad, wait to see the quality of the crop and the consummating deals to ensure that the entire run of the crop has a decent market. And the government has its eyes on the role of tobacco in uplifting livelihoods in line with Vision 2030, and of course, for the much needed foreign currency that this crop brings to our country. And as your minister, my gaze and mind are transfixed on the entire value chain, on fairness, on ethics and probity, on transparency, on accountability, on discipline, on equity, and on sustainability. And these aspects will guide my interaction with the industry. The President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, His Excellency Dr. E.D. Mnangagwa, has eloquently expressed his vision of an empowered and prosperous upper middle income society by 2030, leaving no one and no place behind. And more recently, the President has elaborated on this great vision, asserting boldly that we are part of this great building project for this great nation. Through the Tobacco Transformation Plan, we will build this industry brick by brick, stone upon stone, to a $5 billion industry by 2025. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, as you are all aware, the government approved the Tobacco Transformation Plan last year, whose core objectives are: 1, to increase production to 300 million kilograms of good quality styles desired by our international markets. Secondly, to increase productivity to 2 tons per hectare through vertical growth, yield increase, and loss reduction. Thirdly, to increase value addition and beneficiation from the current 2% to at least 30% by 2025. Fourth, and perhaps most important, to localize the financing of tobacco production, and in this regard, government commits to putting some seed money of at least $60 million, and I hope that Treasury will be able to assist us in this regard, commencing this system. Fifth, accelerating research and innovation. Sixth, we will be exploring alternative crops. Tobacco growers are already major contributors in livestock, in cereal production, horticulture, and there's been discussion around industrial hemp and cannabis, and I hope we can further that discussion so that the farmers can continue to get value from tobacco rotation crops. And I'm aware of the perennial challenges and complaints by farmers and other actors along the value chain. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, discipline among actors is critical. It is discipline that will lead to sustain the growth of the industry. And discipline grew this industry. Discipline must return to this industry. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, for many years the tobacco industry was the envy of many on account of strong regulations, discipline, and strong value chain financing. And in fact, in the ministry, we are trying to learn and replicate aspects of the tobacco value chain so that we can bring this to cereals and other value chains. We've seen the tobacco industry grow from the low 48 million kilograms in the early 2000s to the record of production of 260 million kilograms under this environment. This is enviable. With more collective stakeholder effort, improved collaboration, and a sharper focus on consolidation and growth, this sector can be transformed into a $5 billion industry by 2025. Tobacco remains a key crop for the country's economy, contributing exports of more than 1.2 billion US dollars. And this excludes the indirect economic activities that are associated with providing services related to production, logistics, marketing, and exporting the crop and other products. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the season this year has been very challenging, as been alluded earlier by the Deputy Chair of the Board. The late start of the rains, the false start in some areas, and followed by the incessant rains that we had in January, leading to waterlogging as highlighted, and leaching nutrients, and just making the agronomic practices even more difficult to implement during that period, and then followed by an excessively dry period prolonged for 6 weeks. This made this season even more challenging. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, government has reviewed the foreign currency retention for farmers to 75%, up from 60% last year, and the funds will be treated as free funds. With a more stable macroeconomic environment this selling season and no fixed exchange rate, growers should get better value for their effort. Additionally, government is considering submissions on what has been called bankability and transferability of the 99-year lease and an announcement will be mentioned. As the ministry responsible for lands, agriculture, fisheries, water and rural development, we want to transform the 21,000 A2 farmers to serially successful, perennially successful businesswomen and businessmen. We want to transform the 360,000 AUA farmers from surplus-oriented farmers to successful smallholder commercial farmers. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, finally, it is my wish that the 2022 tobacco marketing season runs smoothly and will be that of great benefit to the tobacco growers, tobacco merchants, and Zimbabweans in general. It is government's hope that all stakeholders in the tobacco marketing process have planned for a smooth season with no bottlenecks and ensuring fair pricing and payment for farmers on time.
There you heard it, viewers. We had our guest of honor, the Minister Dr. A.J. Masuka in the Ministry of Lands, Agriculture, Fisheries, Water and Rural Development right here in Zimbabwe. On that note, we're going to go on a short commercial break. We'll be right back with this and more in the second segment. Stay tuned. Welcome back, viewers. You are watching Agricultural New Directions, Agribusiness in support of Vision 2030. Now we are viewers, we are in the second segment of your program. We encourage you to be a part of these conversations. You can feel free to get in touch with the producer Wadzanai Manyore on 0772-807-506. Alternatively, you can like our Facebook page, Agribusiness with Wadzanai. We are also now available on Twitter, and our Twitter handle there is at Agribusiness110. Leave your comments and suggestions on our YouTube channel. They are very important to us so that we can produce more quality episodes. Our YouTube channel is Agribusiness with Wadzanai. Now we're going to cross over and listen to me having an interview with the Chief Executive Officer of the Tobacco Industry and Marketing Board, Mr. Mino Gudu. Stay tuned. Thank you, Zimbabwe, for staying tuned to Agricultural New Directions, Agribusiness in support of Vision 2030. Now from the podium, where we had a speech from the guest of honor, Dr. A.J. Masuka, the Minister in the Ministry of Lands, Agriculture, Fisheries, Water Development. We are going to be talking to Mr. Gudu here. Mr. Gudu is the Chief Executive Officer of the Tobacco Industry and Marketing Board right here in Zimbabwe. Mr. Gudu, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, as we get into our discussion, Mr. Gudu, I'd like us to talk about issues surrounding sustainability in tobacco production. You know, there are issues surrounding climate change. It has become a reality. Your issues, your sentiments in terms of sustainability in tobacco production.
Okay, thank you very much for that question. Sustainability is now a topical issue within the tobacco industry, and this is coming from our markets, especially our blue chip cigarette manufacturing company. They developed a code called STP, Sustainable Tobacco Production, which we should comply with as a supplier of tobacco at global level. So there are various pillars of the STP that we have to comply with, but some of the issues to do with renewable sources of energy in curing tobacco and deforestation and so forth. These issues, we are addressing them as an industry. We already have a tobacco working group which is also developing a local code, adapting the STP produced by global markets to our environment. And the TIMB will be auditing all contractors to ensure that they comply. And we're also going to come up with new regulations to ensure that both the contractors and the growers comply with sustainable tobacco production.
Okay, speaking of sustainability, from the speech of our Minister, Dr. A.J. Masuka, he reiterated that discipline in tobacco will lead to sustainability. Moving right along, Mr. Gudu, I want us to talk about issues surrounding the pricing model or the marketing systems of tobacco here in Zimbabwe. There are often rumblings when the season starts, whereby farmers are saying prices never change. Even if I increase my quality or better my quality, the prices never change. Your sentiments on the price matrix or your grading systems that you'd want to highlight to our audience there at home?
Okay, thank you very much. Now, in this year, we expect our merchants to be paying higher tobacco prices. Okay. This is driven mainly by three factors. We expect to be lower in our targets in Zimbabwe. Then at global level, if you look at our competitors like Brazil was affected by drought, and the crop is smaller by 80 million. And then if you look also at the supply chains disrupted by COVID, so a lot of our tobacco manufacturers or cigarette manufacturers want to stock up their inventories because of uncertainties caused by COVID-19. So there is an artificial shortage of tobacco at global level, and therefore we expect prices this year to be higher as compared to last year.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Gudu. Finally, as we round off this segment, what do you have in store for tobacco farmers this 2021-2022 marketing season? I understand that you have put new systems in place and you are expecting changes. What is that in a snippet as we round off?
We are going to give our farmers better prices, like what I have already spoken about, and we are also going to avail other cheaper sources of financing coming from government, like what the minister spoke about, the approved $60 million financing structure. And we expect most of our independent farmers to access that money from the various financial institutions, because we believe that the interest rates will be concessional.
staying tuned to Agricultural New Directions, Agribusiness. At this point in time, I've taken the liberty of inviting Miss Sheila Baureni. She is the Sustainability Officer in the Tobacco Industry Marketing Board. Sheila, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you very much, Waza. Thank you for having me.
Yes. A brief synopsis of your activities. What does it entail to be a Sustainability Officer in the Regulatory Authority in the Tobacco Industry Marketing Board of Zimbabwe?
All right, thank you. Good question there. My role basically as a Sustainability Officer for TIMB, we are saying sustainability issues are now topical issues. Okay. So we are looking at the climate change adaptation, climate change mitigation. We are saying the whole supply chain, it's high time that everyone gets to adopt to the new norm. Okay. We take sustainability issues seriously. So we are looking at deforestation issues. It's been the talk for a long time now, and this is acting time. Everyone who is involved in tobacco production, being in producing, being in the market side, we all need to put our collaborated efforts and make sure that we reverse the effects of deforestation. And there are also other activities that we're involved in. We are here to encourage the use of alternative curing fuels, the use of tobacco curing facilities that are fuel use efficient. Okay. So basically those are the things, and we're also encouraging best agronomic practices, looking at the crop, looking at water, looking at soil aspects. Okay. Best practices that make sure that we are taking care of the environment, we are taking care of the soil, the water, and of course the trees.
Thank you so much, Sheila. That was very detailed, and I'd like to allude to the effect of good agronomic practices in tobacco production. As we move right along, Sheila, I want us to talk about issues surrounding viability. You won't find that the inputs are rising at an alarming rate, but at the same time the farmers need to remain in business and to be profitable at the same time. Your sentiment of the measures that are being put in place to ensure that viability is a thing in the tobacco industry marketing industry.
Sure. First and foremost, looking at really we appreciate that globally costs have gone high. Producing just a hectare of tobacco. But we are saying as farmers, as tobacco growers, we need to concentrate more on productivity to make sure that you increase on your yield. If you've been, it's not about increasing hectarage. On that very same piece of land, let's say you have a hectare or two, aim to improve your productivity. We are saying by the year 2025, at least a farmer should be in a position to produce at least 3,000 kgs per hectare. That can only be achieved if a farmer applies all the best agronomic practices that make sure that the yield is high. So if the yield becomes high, also viability will also be better on the farmer side. Okay. Of the income from that small piece of land. And of course, if you heard the minister's speech during the official opening, he mentioned localization of funding of inputs. That's another area, another dimension that we are also looking into to make sure that farmers access cheaper inputs. That's another way that we can also help the farmer to improve on viability.
Very, very viewers, this was the Chief Executive Officer of the Tobacco Industry Marketing Board, Mr. Mino Gudu. On that note, we're going to go on a short commercial break. We'll be right back with this and more in the third and final segment of your program. Stay tuned. Zimbabwe for staying tuned to Agricultural New Directions, Agribusiness. We are here in the third and final segment of your program where we are witnessing the opening of the 2021-2022 tobacco marketing season. Pari zvino ndatora mukana wekudaidza mudzimai murimi wechidzimai vanga vanesu muzuva ranhasi pakuvhurwa kwaitwa mwaka wekutengesa fodya 2021-2022. Ndinokuchingamidzai pachirongwa.
ewa tinotenda makadii
tiri nani. Mungazviintroduce here kuna vakatarira chirongwa, zita renyu, munorimira muri kupi kwamabva?
Alright, ini ndinonzi Mai Gawanga. Ndinorima ndiri kuDawendale. Ndinorima 6 hectares dzefodya.
Okay. Bapa kurima pamuri kuita muri kutora zvikwereti here kana kuti muri kurima nemari yemuhomwe uye zvakamira sei makazvitarira pabasa iri?
Ini ndorima ndiri ndega. Ndinotenga mainputs angu ndiri ndega. Asi zvinozondiomera hangu pamberi apa asi zvangu ndenditenga ndega.
Pari zvino mashoko enyu ekurudziro amungataurawo kumadzimai varimi vechidzimai vechikadzi? Kune vamwe vari kutya kuti vangapinda mubhizimusi iri, kune vagara vatorimo, amene matambudziko amuri kusangana nawo. Mashoko enyu ekurudziro kuvarimi vechidzimai vefodya ndaapi nevari kutarisira kuda kupinda mazviri?
Kune varimi vechidzimai vanorima fodya, ndinoti musatya kurima chirimwa ichi, chakanaka zvikuru, chine pundutso, chinoita kuti iwewe umire semudzimai akakwana asingatye.
Matambudziko amungadaro muri kusangana nawo ndeapi muchataura muchida kudako?
Semurimi anorima ndiri ndega, matambudziko andinosangana nawo ndeyekuti iko zvine zviri kana tichirima fodya. Kwekutanga unongochida kuita winter plow. Maflows ari kunonoka kuvhurwa, mvura iri kunaya, handina mari yekuita winter plow. Ndochinhu chekutanga, nokuti mari yese semurimi anorima ega ndiye ndakaisa kuma-inputs nekulebha kumashure. Lebha yacho iri kutidhurira, tinobhadhira munhu $3. Sesusu tirima A1 $3 inotiwandira because inini kurima 6 hectares dzangu ndinoda vanhu vanondibatsira kushanda vanosvika 20. Saka per day ndinoshandisa $60 yekuti ndibhadhare vanhu 20. Inobva yazondiwandira pakuti kuripa kwatinoita pa each and every rip yandinoshanda vanhu 20 $60 ndinoda 8 ripings kuti ndipedze kukohwa fodya yangu. Saka imari chete yandinenge ndichishandisa, handina RTGS yandinoshandisa. Saka dai zvaibvira vaitipa keshi chete, RTGS iyo varega kutipa.
Ndinotenda zvikuru nekunge muine super chirongwa mazvita nekuuya.
Zvakanaka.
Thank you, Zimbabwe, for staying tuned to Agricultural New Directions, Agribusiness, in support of Vision 2030. I have once again taken the liberty of inviting a female farmer, murimi wechidzimai Amai Chibaya. Amai Chibaya ndokuchingamidza pachirongwa. Yes, tichitanga kupinda munharaunda yedu, mungaudzira vatariri vari kumba kuti muri kurimira kupi, muri kurima pakakura sei, muri kurima nechikwereti here kana kuti muri kurima nekuzvibatsira mega?
Totenda muri yeZimbabwe. Ini ndoitwa Amai Chibaya. Ndorimira ndiri kuMhondoro Chivero. Ndinorima 6 hectares ndiri A1. Ndorima ndakazvimiririra. Ndinotenga mainputs angu nongozvirimira ndega pachangu nemhuri yangu neoraba.
Zvamungada kutaura panyaya dzemabiridziro sekunza pundutso mukurimwa kwefodya ndezvipi?
Ipapo pane nyaya izvozvo zvinhu zvikutionera zvikuru zvotaisokumbira dai hurumende yakakwanisa kutibatsirawo nokuti vazhinji vacho sekwatinorimira isusu hatina mairrigation. Saka taichingokumbira kuti hurumende nevamiririri vanga vachikwanisa kutibatsira tiwanike tichiwanika kuchibiridzira.
Mashoko enyu ekurudziro kuvarimi especially takanangana nevechidzimai?
Ava ini tinongoti kumudzimai wanhasi kurima fodya hakurwadzi. Munongotya muri kure, uyai mupinde mune irori basa. Nesu tatombotya futi tiri kuroko, but patakazongozvitanga takaona aiwa zviri nyore, hapana chinorema, uyai tishande tiriritire mhuri dzedu.
Ndinotenda zvikuru Amai Chibaya nekuuya pachirongwa mazvita henyu. Run of viewers, as you can see, we have concluded the first day of the tobacco marketing season, 2021-2022 tobacco marketing season. It was a pleasure having you with us today. We spoke of issues surrounding sustainability and viability in tobacco production. From me, your host, Wadzanai Manyore, I'm also on Instagram. It's a W Manyore, and the crew behind the scenes. Have yourselves a fabulous evening. Thank you for watching.